Hello everyone and welcome back to LewisNews, your #1 YouTube channel for all types of Spider-Man news. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Avi Arad. Yes, that is right. Avi Arad, the man who has produced many Spider-Man movies over his career, including the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, the TASM trilogy, and has had heavy involvement with the new Sonyverse, i.e. the new Venom movies. But before we get into what has come out about Avi Arad recently, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we cover all types of Spider-Man news on the channel, from the movies, the games, and the shows. Anything that's Spider-Man, we cover it on the channel. So make sure you are subscribed. If you are a Spider-Man fan, this is the channel for you. So essentially, a book came out recently by Sean O'Connell about how Spider-Man had conquered Hollywood during the golden age of comic book movies. So that's in the range of the early 2000s to pretty much recently. And he goes on to talk about the Spider-Man movies that have come out. He goes on to talk about Spider-Man 1, 2, 3 and the TASM movies. But most interestingly, he goes on to talk about the deal with the MCU after TASM 2. So if you guys remember, after The Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out, it was that much of a flop that Amy Pascal and Sony decided to make a deal with Marvel Studios so Spider-Man could show up in the MCU, which is what we have today. But in this book, he talks about the deal, and he also talks about Avi Arad's reaction to the deal. Now, if you guys don't know, Avi Arad is known in the Spider-Man community as this guy who pretty much only cares about money and only really cares about his ideas, and he's quite selfish when it comes to directors and forcing things into their movies. Most notably, when it came to Spider-Man 3, it was actually his idea to put Venom in that film, even though Sam Raimi did not want Venom in that movie, which led there to be complications with Spider-Man 4, which is why Sam Raimi ended up leaving that project. And then the same thing happened with The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and 3 as well. He was one of the people in Sony behind some of the ideas in TASM 2, trying to force various different things in to set up multiple sequels, which is obviously how the movie flopped critically and financially, leading for Spider-Man to go to the MCU. And as you could probably imagine, Avi Arad did not like this. Now I'm going to read you a little section, a little passage from this book which describes Avi Arad's reaction. It says, "We're more valuable than Spider-Man, who had earned Sony approximately $4 billion from 5 films over the course of 15 years. Numbers like these prompted veteran Spider-Man producer Avi Arad to condemn the Sony-Marvel agreement as the worst deal, laying the blame at Pascal and Linton's feet, who, by the way, if you don't know, are higher-ups at Sony. They did it for money. Terrible," Arad said. "Like giving your kids away for adoption just because you're not sure what to do with them. Sony tried for years to avoid this compromise. Marvel and Disney, through Feige, repeatedly inquired with their rival for almost a decade about bringing Spider-Man to the MCU. And Perlmutter frequently sent emails to Linton, his old friend and former colleague, trying to convince Sony that it would be beneficial for both companies to somehow move Spider-Man into the MCU. Bob Iger reportedly broached the topic with Sony's CEO, Kaz Hirai, during a 2014 summit for media mongols. And closer to ground level, Feige persistently pitched Pascal on the idea, making the best use of their long and productive history, which dated back to Feige's time as Avi Arad's assistant on Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man. So as you can see from that short little passage there, Avi Arad was not fond of the deal with MCU Spider-Man. And this is no surprise really, because of the issues that we discussed before. And personally, a lot of people have been saying over the years that with the MCU, with the flaws that it does have, it's a lot better than probably what we would have got if Spider-Man's reputation continued to be damaged with the TASM trilogy. And yes, we all love Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, and No Way Home definitely give that character the redemption he deserved. But in my personal opinion, if Avi Arad continued to be a spearhead of the Spider-Man franchise and going into TASM 3, I definitely think it would have suffered for the worse. And I think because of it, Spider-Man's reputation in Hollywood would have been diminished all the more. But luckily, he was brought to the MCU and he's been restored as one of the greatest and most powerful icons in media of all time. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about Avi Arad coming out and saying this about the MCU deal? I think it's a madness considering how well the MCU movies have actually done. Like, No Way Home was the highest grossing Spider-Man movie of all time, and Far From Home is the second highest grossing Spider-Man movie of all time. But with that being said, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Make sure to like on this video if you did enjoy, and also make sure to subscribe for all types of Spider-Man news. We cover absolutely everything from the movies, the games, and the shows. Let's try and get to 300 subscribers before November the 15th. That would be absolutely awesome. That is the next goal. But thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care and peace.